Hey guys, welcome to the vegan edition of the Relax Just Love podcast. I will apologize right away if I screw up your name, but we are speaking with Leah Griffin from LG Makeup. Is that right?
That's right.
Yes, got it. So how you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm always good. It's a good thing to be. I love how technology allows us to be speaking, considering I'm in a small town in Quebec, Canada, and you are in the UK. Gotta love technology for that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So so the way I found you on Instagram, and what you do is that you're a makeup artist, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
So obviously, if you're on this podcast, you're vegan. So that's the first thing I always look. I will only have. Uh, I was wondering what you were doing. So so you're a vegan professional makeup artist.
Yes, I am. That's right.
So how long have you been vegan for?
I've actually only been vegan probably for about 3.5 years. I
Okay.
was vegetarian from the age of 19, and that all came. I'll take you back to the beginning. That all came about from I saw a poster on a wall when I was at university, and just was simple. It just had a picture of a cow in a field, and underneath it said, "This is your burger." And from that day, I never ate meat again. And it wasn't until a few years ago when a friend of mine said to me that she was talking about milk, and I was naive, and I didn't realise that to get milk from a cow, the cow had to be pregnant
Mhm.
and have a baby, and I absolutely didn't know that at all. And from the day I found that out, that was the day where I said I'm not having any part of that, and I went vegan from that day. But before that, I never made the connection.
I think that happens to a lot of people. I think a lot of people that still consume animal products or animal byproducts do not associate one to the other. They somehow lie to themselves thinking that it's okay. Like it doesn't, you're causing no harms, right?
Yeah, I mean, in my head, I genuinely thought that a dairy cow was a specific breed of cow that they used for milk.
Yeah.
I know it's laughable now, but I was
Yeah.
that naive was what I truly believed. And the dairy industry want you to believe that, oh, if we don't milk the cows, then they're in a lot of pain and all this sort of stuff. We have to relieve them of this milk. Little did I know that they had to have been impregnated and had a baby
Mhm.
to get that milk in the first place. I did not know that. I'm sure I'm not alone in that either, to be honest. The
No,
dairy
no.
industry obviously don't know those things.
They're not going to advertise that on their products. That's for sure. To say that they need to impregnate the cow, take the
No,
baby away, and then milk the cow. Of course, they're not going to talk about that. The
yeah,
it is something that I find very interesting. The milk situation when it comes to humans, that we are about the only animal that will drink the milk from a different species. It makes no sense to me. Absolutely no sense that even before being a vegan, like I've been a vegan like you about 3 to 4 years, but I was vegetarian for 6 or 7 before that. But I still didn't drink milk. Like it made no sense
yeah.
to me to be drinking the product of a different animal that's meant for their babies. It makes no sense.
No, that's so true. When you sort of put it into perspective, you just think, how did I not see that before? Why did I ever think that was normal? I was brought up by two meat eater parents, and you just when I was younger, it wasn't something I ever questioned. You're told that you have to have milk; it's good for your bones and your
Mhm.
teeth and all that. But really, that's not actually the reality of it. But you're not told these things, growing up, so you just sort of fall into the trap, if you like.
Yeah, I guess that's what happens when you don't question it either. If you don't have, like the poster you said you saw at university made you question where the product comes from, because you don't necessarily, it's not advertised on their products. They're not going to go out loud and say this is how we actually get the product on your plate. People will never buy it if they know where it comes from, right?
Well, it's like that guy said. I've forgotten his name now, but he said if slaughterhouses had glass walls,
Yeah.
it'll be a different story.
How does it go? Because you said your two parents are, do they still eat meat to this day? Because you called them meat eaters, so I would imagine that they do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've only got my dad now, but yeah, he's still a meat eater. Yeah.
Okay, my apology. My what's the proper term in English? Sorry, I'm thinking French right now, but my condolences for your mother, I guess, would be the proper
Oh,
term.
thank you. It's a long time ago now, but thank you very much. But I am in a house with a husband and two children that are now also vegan, all of their own choice, nothing to do with me, forcing anything on them or anything like that. I would never do that, but I don't think they would ever go back now. And it's purely for the animals. It's not for health. It has always been about the animals.
You and me both. I've the health came after I realized that it's
Yeah,
just a nice thing to have, but it was never the intent either. It's really just I was reading a Buddhist book, and I had my two dogs laying on me, and I had a cat just on top of me, and I'm like, I would never eat those animals. So that day
yeah,
was
that's
the
it.
last time I ate them. It's just, what's the difference between a cow and a dog, really?
Yeah, I say that to people all the time. I say, would you eat your dog? And they say, no, of course not. And also when I'm talking about milk, would you drink dog milk? No, of course not. Well, why you drink cow's milk? What's the difference? It's only up here. That's all it is.
I've had the discussion where I pushed it even further than that. I would say, would you order breast milk from a woman that you don't know on the internet? Most people are like, no, but you drink the milk of a cow. At least that
Yeah,
woman, that product that she's selling you is meant for humans.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
absolutely incredible that people don't do the parallels between the two.
No,
Um,
so
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying that's so true.
It is, we live in all the information is there too. That's what I find the most puzzling. I think it's really people don't, they want to continue to live the way that they do without questioning it because it's easier.
Yeah, that's the sad truth of it. Yeah, I think it is. But there is so much more
Unfortunately.
out there now, so much more available, and I do
Oh,
feel like, particularly here in the UK, there is so much more vegan options available to people now. And I don't mean just food, I mean that's everything, cosmetics, everything. I mean, I don't know what it's like where you live, but it's definitely growing over here.
I can actually, like I said, I live in a small town. I was tired of the big cities for that I've been in for the past 10, 12 years. So I moved out to a to a really small town. But the closest grocery store actually sells Satan. I can buy, and it's a small place, it's a small town. So it's everywhere now. It's absolutely everywhere. I don't even need to do my own Satan like I used to do because I couldn't get it anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So,
mean, even all our restaurants now, they've all got vegan options. And not just one, I don't mean just salad. I mean, there are
yeah.
real decent options there. There are quite a few of them. So it really is catching on.
Well, yeah, yeah, no, definitely. And even one of my buddies that's a meat eater, but since he's known me, he is uh, taking less and less and less and less meat. We were just discussing that. He was here yesterday, and even him, he buys Satan now. He came to my place, he was eating Satan instead of eating meat. And I don't care. I personally, I'm not one of those that will preach to people. If you want to talk about it, I'm happy to talk about it.
Yeah,
But I don't care. I don't know that I could date a woman that's not vegan anymore. I don't think I could do that. But one of my buddies, I don't live with you. I don't have to. Like I
Yeah.
don't care. Do you? I'll do me. I don't really care. I'd rather he'd be vegan, obviously, but I'll never preach to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same, really. I mean, if people want to talk to me about it, of course I will talk to them, but I try not to push things on people unless they ask me for the information. But generally, if I'm doing makeup on somebody, I like to educate them on things to look out for in their makeup, because it's not something you would suspect. If you're not vegan and you're not really looking for those things, you wouldn't expect makeup to have animal products in. You think of, if you're a non-vegan, you think of vegans as just in what they eat, but not really all the other stuff that goes with being a vegan, all the other things that we're looking out for in everyday products that you wouldn't really think of otherwise.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. I'm happy you're bringing it up. So on the obviously I don't use makeup and I know nothing about makeup. I'll say it. I don't think it's going to surprise anybody here, but when it comes, since it's something that you do you find that a lot? Because at least I know that they might be tested on animals, but do a lot of them? What's the type of product that, or the type of ingredients that are animal derivative that you find in makeup?
Oh, honestly, there are just so many that you just would not even believe. I mean, tallow is one of them, which is basically, to you and me, that's animal fat that they put in all sorts of things. It could be foundation, it could be a lipstick, anything like that. Just the thought of smearing animal fat on your face is just disgusting, isn't it? There's things like cochineal, which is also sometimes called carmine, which is, it's a red dye that's extracted from crushed beetles. There are honestly all kinds of things, fish scales, gelatin. We all know what gelatin is, boiled bones and that sort of thing. That's in maybe nail products, things like that. Squalene, which is derived from shark's liver. I mean, that's a really strange one. That's in stuff as well. Even lanolin, from sheep's wool, you'll get things like that in also lipsticks and makeup remover. Just honestly, just things that you just wouldn't expect. But they can make them without that, because that's how we get all the vegan makeup products. So if they can make it without that, why don't they? And just because something is vegan doesn't mean it's cruelty-free, which sounds ridiculous. They can be one without the other. So if it's cruelty-free, it just means that it hasn't been tested on animals at any stage of production. So some companies will say that the finished product hasn't been tested on animals, but that doesn't mean that somewhere along the production line it hasn't been tested, or they have maybe paid a third party to test it on an animal. It's all these things that we need to look out for, and there are lots of rigorous, sort of real hard-hitting questions that they ask to make sure that they definitely are suitable for vegans.
That's interesting. I never, a lot of the products that you're talking about, I don't understand why they even use those products, except for maybe it's because it's been done like that for so long. It's easy. It's already there. So and not only that, but I think that's one of the, and this applies to everything, not just to vegan products, but to any products as a whole. I think consumers don't understand what purchasing power means. Like if you start demanding if you stop buying from a company, all they care about is money. So if you stop buying their products because they have substances in there that you don't want them to have, they will change. They don't care. They're not going to do it because their moral values have changed. They just want to make money. So if you use your money to buy a product that's vegan, to buy a product that's not tested on animals, that's not, how do you call it, guilt-free?
Yeah. That's so true, because people say to me, do you only buy products that are from wholly vegan companies? I would love to say yes. I would love to only support wholly vegan companies, but I do also recognise that if a company, as long as the company is cruelty-free to start with, they must be cruelty-free for me to buy it and use it at all. So assuming they're cruelty-free, if they're not a wholly vegan company, but they are making the effort to make vegan products, then I will put my money into that vegan product, because exactly what you said, it's only about money. That's all they're interested in. So if they see that people are buying their vegan products, then the demand is there. So they will make more vegan products, because that's exactly what you said, customer buying power. That's what they want. So, that's why I support companies that are not wholly vegan, but like I say, as long as they're cruelty-free. And the product itself is vegan, but does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, I do the same. I don't go to my grocery store, for example, and look for vegan products. I've been reading labels for 15 to 20 years. So I will look at the ingredients, and I can tell a lot of companies. One of my favorite dark chocolate, I'm a big fan of dark chocolate. One of the dark chocolate that I buy is meant for pastries. It's a Quebec companies that does it. It's very well known for their chocolate. They do a lot of pastries like chocolate cakes, for example. And their dark chocolate just turns out to be vegan. They don't even know it. It's just, it sells them. It's for cookies. It's the little tiny pieces. They're like little round, they're little rounds that you put in muffins, that you put in cookies, for example. But they don't advertise them as vegan. It's just that I picked it up. I looked, I'm like, damn, this is vegan. I love it. But I'll still buy it because their chocolate's awesome.
Yeah. When you find something that's accidentally vegan, there's a Facebook page as well for accidentally vegan products, and there's so many things on there that you think, wow, I did not know about that.
Accidentally vegan products.
And cakes and things like that, all the good stuff.
That's good. I didn't know that. It makes sense, because I find vegan products all the time and they're not advertised as such. And I understand why too.
I think they have to pay for logos, a vegan logo, I think. So sometimes that's why they don't label them as such.
I wonder if another reason why they do that is because they don't want to be labeled as a vegan product either, because you can't lie to yourself thinking there's some products like the faux cheese that they call, or when they're trying to duplicate animal byproducts. And we won't lie to each other. As much as I will never eat cheese again, you cannot compare a real cheese with milk products with a vegan one. I'm sorry, you can't. And most people...
I'm very funny. I'm very funny with cheese as well. I have found two. There are two that I will eat, but they don't taste the same. They don't.
And you can't do nachos either. I can't go ahead and do nachos like I used to do with like 5 different type of cheese. It's all melted on top. It doesn't melt right. It doesn't melt, but it's okay. It's worth the effort not to eat the cheese. It's all good. But the thing is, those companies might not want to be recognized as a vegan company, so that people that are not vegan will still buy their products. And most vegan people are so used to reading labels that we're going to look at them no matter what. So the fact that it says vegan or not, to me, has no value. I don't care. I really don't care if it says vegan or not. I can read labels. Yeah,
that's true. We actually had a situation here in the UK with one of the butter companies. It wasn't butter. It's more like a margarine spread. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Say that? Yeah. So one of them, it was accidentally, well, I don't know if you call it something different.
We do have margarine in Canada. Yes, I know. We do.
I need to travel more.
It's all good, but we do. It just came out like last week, though, but we have it. No, it's not true.
So there was a company over here that it was accidentally vegan, one of their products, and they actually changed it and put butter, milk, dairy milk into the product, and there was a whole big, it all just sort of blew up where vegans were going mad because they changed the ingredients. I don't really see what the purpose was of doing that. They just alienated a whole section of the market really by doing that. But it's one of those things.
They just didn't want to be labeled as a vegan company, probably.
But they do have 2 other vegan spreads as well, so it doesn't really make sense. But they also have non-vegan spreads. They're all under the same umbrella.
I unfortunately do not have an answer for that one. I don't know why. I don't know why it matters. I'll be honest. I don't know why people make such a big fuss. How many times have I don't talk about the fact that I'm vegan with people I don't know. Like, you'll have to know me. You might notice by the way I eat, because I eat very clean in the first place. But I always find it interesting that the first thing that people see is they can't believe that I'm a vegan. Most people that I meet can't believe I'm vegan, and I never understood why. It's like there's a stigma still to this day attached to, because you're a vegan, you're supposed to be 5'6", scrawny, and very white, like you're dying because you're lacking animal proteins or something. So maybe that's why those companies do it. They don't want people to think they're a little scrawny, very white, dying individual. I don't know.
Yeah. You see lots of jokes about that, saying I'm vegan, I still haven't died of protein deficiency.
You know what's always awesome about that? How many times have I had somebody tell me, wow, you must lack protein, yet I'm 6'1", 200 pounds with a 6-pack, and the person that tells me that is always overweight, never in shape. Yeah. So let's go train, buddy. Let's go train, you and I, see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, every week I volunteer at an animal sanctuary, and the lady that owns the sanctuary, she's been vegan for 47 years, and she is a marathon runner. She's a record 5 times, I think, record holder as well. Yeah, she's done the I forgot what it was, the one through the desert, the marathon through the desert.
You're talking about the Ironmans.
No, something disable.
I don't know.
She's very, very fit, healthy individual, and she's been vegan for 47 years. And back then, there were not the vegan food options that we have today, and she's just sort of one of the proof. We've also got a wholly vegan football team here as well. I don't know if you've heard of them, Forest Green Rovers. And they're obviously very fit and healthy.
It's good for endurance sports. One of the things that I want to do with this podcast is to speak to a lot of athletes. I'm an athlete myself, so I always, and the difference that it made to my body from just going from vegetarian to vegan was crazy. So I can't even imagine going from a meat eater to vegan, because as I said, I was vegetarian for 7 years before I turned vegan. The difference that it does just in inflammation in your body, like forget about the animal portion, really for the product. One of the things that people don't understand is that saturated fat does not exist in vegan products. The only type of saturated fat that you're going to find comes from animal byproducts.
Yeah.
So as soon as you start, there's no problems with fats, but when you start getting your fat from avocado, you get your fat from nuts, you get your fats from very healthy places, the body just changes. Like, same thing with carbs. If you don't get all of your carbs from bread, and you actually get them from lentils, beans, and all vegan products, you don't have to worry about the amount of carbs so much that you eat, because they're whole carbs, they're complex carbs. I'm not eating a burger at McDonald's, right?
Yeah, that's so true. That is so true.
I have one of your pictures. I've been looking to my site since the beginning, and because you and I got a feeling we could talk about this for a long time, and we're 23 minutes in. We haven't even touched your makeup yet. So I want to start showing what you do for a living. And I apologize to the people that are going to be watching this if it doesn't show well, because I've never shared my screen on a podcast. I do it for customer meetings, but never done it on a podcast. So I don't know how it's going to record. And just before I show the picture, I want to tell you guys, I love the gory stuff. So when I went on your Instagram profile, I picked up some of the most gory stuff, because that's the type of stuff that I like. But so let's try this. I'm going to share my screen. And so can you guys actually see? So can you see my screen? Because all I have two screens, so I can see it. But do you see?
I can see it, yeah.
So you see it. So right now, what I'm looking at seems to be a ripped off skin form. So we're seeing the muscle and the bones. Is that right?
That's it. That's a degloved arm.
How'd you call it?
Degloved. So,
yeah, the skin has been literally degloved. Yeah, that's one of my fears, because I have so much tattoos. If you rip that off, it'll never be good again. It'll never look right again. It'll be all a mismatch of colors everywhere. So how'd you do that? So explain to me why you did it first. Is that for a movie?
No, it actually wasn't. It was just, I wanted to do something, like you say, a bit gory. I hadn't done anything like that for a while. I usually work on a Halloween event. It's a Fright Night thing that goes on over a few weeks during Halloween. But of course, because of the COVID situation, it wasn't on this year. So I had a little bit of, like I was missing it. I was missing the gory stuff. So I thought, what, I'm going to do something a bit different. Rather than paint my face or my body, I'll do something different. So that's how that came about.
So, but that's not you, right? You did that on somebody else, or is it yours?
No, that's not me. No, I had a model there. I would not be able to do it on myself. That'd be really awkward.
That's what I was going to say. Because some of your stuff is on you, though. Some of the makeup that I'm going to show is you.
Yeah, I do all the body paint stuff. That is all me. I make some of the props and things as well. I like doing that. That's real good fun.
From what, sorry?
Oh, sound. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I can hear you. It's I didn't hear what you meant. You from themes? Is that what you said?
No, I said I make some of the props.
Oh, gotcha.
Like crowns, and you might have seen one where I was at Christmas. I was like a Christmas nutcracker, so I made the hat and stuff for that. And just little things that I think feel like they bring the look to life a bit more.
Like this one?
Oh yeah. I'll tell you a little secret about this one. Okay, so obviously I don't have a nun's outfit, so the white around my face was out of 2 pillowcases. Yeah, and the black part was a pair of school trousers hanging on my head.
It looks good. I know it comes from a horror movie. I just cannot remember what the name of the movie is right now.
Well, it's called The Nun.
It is called The Nun, eh? Wow, it's that simple. So basically you were telling me before the podcast that you don't watch horror movies.
No, the only horror makeup artist that hasn't seen a horror film.
So why? So you just saw it somewhere online and you're like, I'm gonna try that?
Yeah, basically. When I did the Nun one, the film had come out. There's, I'm sure it's called The Nun 2 or The Conjuring. It was something like that. And
It's part of the Conjuring series.
yeah,
I know that. Yeah.
yeah, and the character is called Valak, I think. So
Yep.
that was how that came about. I thought I'm going to give that a go. And
It is Valak. So hold
Sometimes I
on.
don't forget. I just pick up the paintbrush and just see what happens. But I prefer to have a plan. Usually, if I have a plan, then I know where I'm going with it. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm going to end up with.
So do you paint? Like, do you paint on canvas as well?
Do you know what? Actually, I haven't yet. Right next to me, I've got an easel with some paints and a canvas that I got for Christmas, and I haven't actually used it yet. I just haven't got around to it. I will. It's because of somebody on my Instagram said to me, you don't get to keep any of your art because obviously I wash it off.
That's true.
So, but I do take photos, and actually on the wall opposite me, I've got 3 big canvases that I've had of the photos that I took on me, and they were put onto a canvas. But other than that, no, I've just got a couple of photos of them.
I have one here I wanted to share because I kind of like the effect there. It's not gory. This one is actually a kids friendly one.
Oh yeah, this one, I almost gave up on this one.
You what? Sorry?
I almost gave up partway through doing this one because it was taking forever, and I wasn't sure if it was coming together. But
Yep.
It's one of those, just have to trust the process and see it through till the end.
Are you happy with the result? Because I like it. I really, really like the effect that it gives. I really like it.
Yeah, I was by the end. I'm just glad that I persevered with it and didn't just sort of wash it off, because I've done that before. I got part way through, I thought, no, I don't like it, and off it goes.
Seriously,
no, I kept going.
all wasted. It's you're basically just doing tests, right?
Yeah.
What's your plan? What do you want? Is there, because first off, I should ask you where does it come from? Like, what made you decide to start putting makeup on people or putting it on yourself? I would imagine that you've done on yourself quite a bit. Where do the passion come from?
Do you know what? I did a law degree, and when I finished the law degree, I realised actually I don't enjoy this at all. And I've always been creative, since school age. And I thought to myself, what do I enjoy? We're only here once, aren't we? And I don't want to spend my life doing something that makes me miserable. Yes, I did waste years doing the law degree, not to use it, which I got to say made my dad really angry. Yeah, the art I find it a bit therapeutic, really. It's like an outlet. I just really enjoy it.
So you instead of becoming a lawyer, you decided to become a makeup artist with the law degree. You didn't quit during school. You finished your school. Oh yeah. I can see how your dad was very impressed by that.
Yeah, not very happy at all.
No, I can see why, but at least he has accepted it by now, I would imagine.
Yeah, through gritted teeth.
You know what you could do? You could take your law degree and give it to him, like, so he can put him on his wall if he wants. Yeah, don't do that. I don't think he would appreciate the gesture at all. So that's interesting. I kind of like it. So you went from finishing school, you told yourself that you didn't want to do that, but at least you finished it. And then you're making a living off of doing makeup?
Yeah, I mean, I do, but the creative, the stuff I make a living from is mainly normal makeup, like everyday makeup,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
weddings and parties and things like that. The creative stuff, I don't generally do a lot of that unless it's for Halloween, really. I get busy at Halloween, but it's not the sort of thing that I do on people every day. To do that kind of thing, I don't like to feel under pressure. I don't like the pressure of time restraints and things, because I can do a look on myself and it might take 5 or 6 hours. But obviously, if you're doing it on somebody else, you couldn't possibly expect them to sit still for that sort of amount of time. And I'm a bit of dare I say it, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So I don't like to be rushed. So I don't generally do that sort of makeup on anybody but myself.
You're patient with your own self, I understand, but you can sit there for 5, 6 hours. I guarantee you, those took a long, long time. You have to sit there and take it, but I know what you mean. Most people won't. Most people cannot be
No,
bothered either.
well, I did one look that took about 7 hours before.
To
Yeah,
yourself?
I don't. On myself, yeah.
Which
Yeah.
one was it? Because if it's on your Instagram, I saw it, but which one was it?
It was the blue one with the girl sitting on the edge of the cliff.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Were you happy with the result at least?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, yeah. There've probably been a few like that, to be honest. Earlier on, in the early days, it probably would have taken me longer then than it does now.
So is it something, so the portion that you call the creative part, is that something you'd like to do more, or you really just because you enjoy doing it? Like would you want to be somehow part of the movie industry, or is that something you're not looking into at all?
I'll be honest with you, I would love to do something like that, but I think in truth, my downfall is I doubt my own self, really. It's the whole pressure thing, and the confidence that you can do that under pressure, and to somebody else's expectations. Whereas when I'm only painting myself, I've got nobody else's expectations to live up to, only my own. So I think I would love to do it in hindsight, work on a film, but I don't know how I deal with the pressure. It's not
Only one
something
way
that
to find out.
Yeah, I guess so.
There is only one way to find out. You were nervous before we started talking. Are you nervous
Yeah.
now?
No, I feel fine now.
See, that's the thing. Most of the experiences that I was nervous about, you just need to do it, and then you might not like it, you might like it, but there's only one way to find out, right?
Yeah, it's just getting that foot in the door, isn't it? That breakthrough, who sees your work at the right time.
Yeah, that because there's definitely others that do makeup as well. I don't know. I think it's always finding a niche market too. I think that's always the most important thing, is to find a niche for yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. It's just finding that niche, isn't it?
Yeah, well, if that's something that you want to do, I got a feeling, because there's one here that I'd like you to explain to me, because I don't know if it's just a picture effect or this is actually,
Oh, yeah. That's quite
is
a recent one.
is that it's not computer generalized. Like it's actually you that's there. Is that you?
Yeah, hey, yeah, that's me.
So how do you do the
Uh,
cartoon effect? It looks crazy. It really looks like a cartoon.
there's a girl on Instagram
Yeah.
that she does things like this, and I got the idea from her. And actually, when I did this, I loved it so much. I thought, oh, I'm going to do a whole series of superheroes. But actually, since then, I just haven't got around to doing it. I've got so many ideas in my head that I want to do, but I just haven't got the time to do them all because they take so long. And so, yeah, that's where that came from. But there are a few more superhero ones I want to do in this sort of style. I feel like I don't want to pigeonhole myself into just one style of the creative stuff. You know, like I don't want to do just horror or just, you know, this sort of cartoon type look. So I try to do as many different sort of variations of styles as I can, really.
I like it. Honestly, it's very different from, it's the only one on your page that I could find that was that style. And it really pops out.
Yeah, I had to paint my hair as well for that. To glue my hair.
That's true.
Then paint it.
I don't mean to be inappropriate by asking this question, but you're not wearing anything. You're not wearing a shirt on that. You're painting the skin directly.
Yes. So I normally sort of paint to about here, sort of just at the top.
That's why I said I didn't want to be.
This area.
But you are not wearing a shirt, you're not wearing a shirt on that picture. It's really, you have to paint directly on your skin, right?
Oh, that's my skin. Yeah. I normally wear a crop top, so I have a boob tube type top on. But yeah, I just sort of use this area.
I really like it. I really like the. I wasn't sure if it was real or not, or if it was just computer generated.
Yeah, no, painting clothes is fun. I don't know if you saw the Christmas Nutcracker one. That was fun as well.
Yes.
Yeah, sort of try to bring the light and shade to show the folds in the clothing.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Oh, yeah. Well, it makes sense. Again, keep in mind who you're talking to here. I know nothing about makeup. But yes, from how you explain it, it makes sense to me. Yes. I can see it I'm still looking at the picture, so I see what you mean by all the lighting effect, all the shading, you see kind of the crests, the folds in the clothes, but yet they're not there.
It's almost like an illusion art.
Yeah, of course. You're creating perspective on something that's technically flat.
Exactly that, yeah.
It's beautiful, beautiful stuff that you do there. I'm really, really impressed by your work. I love the creative aspect. Some people have so much creativity. It's absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you very much. There are so many amazing, creative artists like that on Instagram. It's just such a wealth of ideas on there,
Yep. Oh wow, we've been going for about 45 minutes, give or take. From what I've seen, that's about the attention span that most people will have, like somewhere between half an hour and an hour. Because sometimes I go on a tangent, and I've recorded podcasts that were 2.5 hours. So it's yeah, one of my buddies and I, we've done quite a bit of podcasts together, and sometimes we go on tangents, and people don't have to, and I can listen to 2.5 hour podcasts. Most people can't be bothered. So I don't want to cut this short by any stretch. I'd like to know if you have something you'd like to add, if there's something that you want to finish by, because I always finish with a question for people that I speak for the first time. So I'll ask you, but if you have something you wanted to speak about, we are all ears.
Oh, you put me on the spot now. No, I have nothing. I've gone blank.
It's all good. The question I'm going to ask you might put you on the spot a bit. I kind of enjoy doing those things sometimes. The question I always ask is simple. Is if you had a chance to speak to your 14-year-old self, what would you tell that teenager?
Well, I would tell her that dairy cows are not a special breed of cow for a start. Oh.
That's funny.
Yeah, that is a good question. I don't really know how to answer that, really. It would just be a case of, I wish I had connected the dots earlier, you know, with the whole animal thing. Like I said, I was vegetarian for probably about 17 years before I made the switch. And I just wish I'd made that connection sooner. So, yeah, I think I'll just, that would be it, really. I just want to make that connection sooner, really, that's it.
It's a good thing. I wish I would have done the same, so I fully understand. Well, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for doing this because, as I said earlier, I know you were shy when I reached out to you. You seemed to be a bit nervous about it, so I'm very happy that you chose to do it, and I hope that you enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you so much for asking me. It's been an honor and a privilege, and really nice to meet you.
It was really nice to meet you as well. So I will wish you the best of days, and thank you for listening.